Hi, this is Rabbi Chaim Kaufman. Welcome to our 132nd installment in the Torah portion of the week. We are holding by Parshas Korach here in Eretz Israel. For everyone else, it'll be Parshas Shlach, so you can watch my video about Parshas Shlach. There's a lot to speak about in Parshas Korach. As most people know, we're only going to focus on one thing, really. And it's the story of Korach. How could Korach go against Moshe Rabbeinu, go against Aaron HaKohen? Jealousy. We spoke in another video about jealousy, how jealousy could kill a person. And also speaks about gifts to the Kohanim, right? Ties to the Levites, etc. And that's really something that I wanted to focus on. So the Torah says over here, chapter 18, verse 20. The Torah says, Hashem said to Aaron, in their land you shall have no heritage, and a share shall you not have among them. I am your share and your heritage among the children of Israel. In other words, the Levites, the Kohanim, they are God's heritage. You're not going to inherit, right? You're not going to inherit the land, and the people are going to have to support you. Right, so says the Torah over here. So says Moed Rebbe, Arav Agon Moshe Shlita, should be well. And he says, what does this verse teach us? He says this verse teaches us that anyone who gives charity, person shouldn't think, I'm giving to this Kohen, or I'm giving to that Levite, from their property. But really, who are they giving from? From God. Right? God's really their inheritance. So what am I giving? So the one who gives is like you're giving to God. Because the Kohanim, the Levites, are the ones that serve for God. Right? They're the ones that serve in the Beis HaMikdash. They're the ones that serve in the temple. So therefore, they're God's inheritance, as the Torah here says. Rebbe says, so if you're giving to a Kohen or to a Levite, then in the end, who are you giving it to? You're giving to God. Right? You're giving to God. And the ones that give charity, are giving from the table from above, the heavenly table. And they're zoicha, they merit. In other words, it's like you're taking from God and giving to them. So the rabbis teach us more than someone who works, helps out a poor person. Well, the poor person works, doesn't really matter. But somebody who helps out a poor person, the more somebody helps them, it's really the poor person is helping them much more. The poor person gives the merit to the one who has money to help. And that's a tremendous glorification of God's name. Because really it's coming from Him. He's using from God to help support them. So it's interesting over here that really a person's going to say that when you help a poor person, who's getting more the merit? Who's getting helped more? Is it the one who's giving, or is the one who's receiving? So you tell me, well, the one who's giving. It's the one who's receiving. Why? Someone has trouble making ends meet, and someone else helps him, eases the burden. So if the person's of means, or even not of means, but he gives, and he wants to help out others who are going through difficult times, so the person who receives, I would think, gets more, because he's the one in trouble. He's the one that's suffering. What do the rabbis tell us? Tell us the opposite. Really, the one who's poor is helping the one that gives. So this needs further clarification. Because the reality is that when somebody gives, he's really helping himself more. What's the reason? So somebody asked Rabbi Akiva, if your God is so powerful and can do anything, why are there poor people? Why are the poor people amongst the Jews? Can't God help everyone? Certainly can. Harbe shluchim l'makom. There are many messengers. Many messengers God can send to help out other people. Many different ways. So Akiva said, the person who's giving, it gives them a chance to get Olam Haba, to get a portion of the world to come. Why? So very simply, since they have the ability to give, and they have the money, what's the first thing you want to do when a person has money? Is keep it in your pocket. You certainly don't want to help others, regardless of how philanthropic you may be. The evil inclination will say, forget it. Let these people get better jobs. Let them work. Let them do something for society. Why should I help them? Let them help themselves. So, somebody that has money, he doesn't want to give. Or if he gives, he wants to give a little bit. So he doesn't want to, give 20%, whereas the maximum a person can give. Right? The obligation is 10%. Person wants to give more, can give up to 20%, but that's it. So when a person gives, or let's say better, when a person has money, they're not going to want to give. They want to give to themselves. Maybe they'll give to their kids, their spouse. Go on fancy vacations, fancy house, fancy cars. Whatever it may be. But to help out other poor people, I would think it's a much more difficult thing to want to do. The evil inclination is tremendously strong. Because the last thing the evil inclination wants is you to do mitzvahs. It's going to fight you tooth and nail. So the excuse that the evil inclination will use is let these people do something. Let them get real jobs, right? Someone's sitting and learning. Or someone's teaching and still you don't make a lot of money teaching. Let them do something else. They had some people tell me, they said, why would you take money from non-Jews? Why don't you get a real job? I think this is a real job. Helping people, inspiring people, answering questions. Certainly could be full-time and beyond. Not a shortage of what to do, what to learn. So let's look at it in the bigger scheme of things. Tribe of Levi, they're supposed to sit and learn. Supposed to serve in the Beis HaMikdash. Right? It's not a contradiction. We don't have a temple today. Right? But they were the scholars. They were the teachers. They served, so how are they going to make a living? So, different sacrifices were given over. Not all parts of the meat, right? Sometimes all of it, sometimes some of it. Whatever it is. So what do people say? Let them get a job. Obviously they're serving in the temple. That is a job, right? They're teaching the people. They're giving over God's law. It takes effort. Someone once told me, Very easy. You sit and learn all day. You want to do what I do? Wait, though, you don't sleep that much. Okay, it's a different issue. You want to learn 10, 12 hours a day? Breaking your head trying to understand? Going through these texts? Coming up with ideas? Giving people inspiration? Not easy. I mean, I make it look easy. Certainly not easy. First you have to know how to learn. Not everyone that knows how to learn, they can be encyclopedic, but they can't give it over. They don't, people can't understand them. Maybe they're not clear, they're not other things. Not everyone has that ability. So a person has to realize, as Chos Levavo says, right, as it says in Duties of the Heart, in the introduction to Shar B'tachon, faith in God. So he says the person has money, he's given as a gift. It's a pikadon. Really, it's collateral. And if he's given a lot of it, he's got to use it for the right thing. Right? He has to know how to use it. And if not, what can God do? God can take it away. Some people may have wealth for a very long time. Maybe it'll be lost by their kids, whatever the case is. Maybe they're given wealth in order that they don't serve God at all. So they won't have a portion of the world to come. They'll have it all in this world. But charity is a tremendous thing. Charity saves a person from death. There are many stories Talmud brings out that that's certainly the case. And a person has to learn how to give even if he doesn't have a lot. Obviously, you're not putting yourself in debt. If a person doesn't make ends meet, there's no mitzvah to give charity. If you can give, okay? But if not, no mitzvah to put yourself in the poorhouse. That being said, if someone is of means or can give, they have to give. There's an obligation, 10%. Now what about a non-Jew? What about a non-Jew who doesn't convert? We'll make it easy. So they have to give charity. It's one of the Noahide laws. So helping others, chesed, I would think it's one of the Noahide laws. Giving something of what you earn to help someone else, now it doesn't have to be a fixed amount. A Jew has to give at least 10%. If he wants to give more, he can give up to 20%. He can't give more than that. Give more than 20%, then you sacrifice your family, and that's obviously not good. But 10%, person has to give. But you have to know where to give it to. If a person gives it to save the whales, well, I don't know how much credit you're going to get for that. Give it to a non-Jewish charity, even if they do good things, not sure how much credit you'll get for that. And the reason's very simple, because we think of ourselves first. We're Jews first. Being a Jew first means you help your own. Yeshivas, girls' schools, rabbis struggle to make ends meet. Orphans, widows. I mean, list goes on. But the ones who are able to help, they get much more than they give. It's not just the poor person receives. It's the fact that you're doing something very, very difficult. Because most people, certainly when they're born selfish. How can you say a child's born selfish? Because the child's always about them. I want to eat, screams. I want to be changed, screams. I want this, screams. Okay, child has to be taught. But it's all-encompassing. 9 months, everything's being taken care of. First second it comes out, can't do anything. So in order to get what it wants, knows how to manipulate the mother, the parents. So we're generally selfish. We don't want to give to others. Someone works crazy hours. Even if they're successful, they're going to want to depart with 10% off the top? Not usually. They want to keep it. They want to make more money. Invest it. So we don't want to give to others. All the more so, not wanting to give it to quote-unquote parasites or bloodsuckers that are sitting and learning. So I would ask the $1,000,000 question, we'll make it easy. In the time of the temple, where the Kohanim, the Levites are busy tending to all the sacrifices and everything, how are they supposed to make ends meet? What are they supposed to do? How are they supposed to get jobs? They don't have time. They are busy serving God and serving the needs of the people. If they are serving the needs of the people, don't they need to be compensated? So the Torah gives an out and says, yeah, how will they be compensated? With parts of the animal. Right? That's how they'll be able to have food. People can donate money, other things. But through the system of sacrifices, that's how families will get fed. They'll have clothing. So would people say, oh, they're not doing anything beneficial for the world? Obviously, when the Beis HaMikdash was in existence, and people saw it, and saw what sacrifices look like, going up and fire coming down from heaven, and all these miracles, they wouldn't say, oh, look at these bloodsuckers. Look at these parasites. Not doing anything for the world. No such thing. Would never happen because people understand what their purpose is. So let's go beyond. Let's go fast forward 2,000 years or more. We don't have a Beis HaMikdash because of all our sins. Beis HaMikdash been destroyed. Hasn't been rebuilt. Only thing we have left is the Western Wall. So who can be part of the tribe of Levi, even if you're not a Levite? You don't have to be a Levite for this. So the Rambam says that anyone who helps support Torah, support Talmidei Chachamim, rabbinic scholars, they have the status of Shevet Levi. Right? Let's say better. Right? I got it backwards. People that sit and learn. And they're being paid, certainly not a high salary, but they're being paid to sit and learn, at least in the morning and afternoon. Not getting rich by any stretch. So people say, why should they be supported? Let them get jobs. So how these people survive, nothing short of miraculous. Usually the wife will work, bring in some money, and they'll survive for however long, right? Until they can't do it anymore. And this person will have to get a job. But when they're sitting and learning, most people say, oh, this guy's a sponge. He's a cockroach. He's not doing anything for society. He should be paid for what he's doing. And if somebody was doing a PhD or whatever in tax law, we'll make fun of tax law a little bit, in tax law, and he gets a scholarship, gets an apartment, gets expenditures, we don't say, oh, look at this cockroach. You're not doing anything look what he's doing for society. No one says that. He's writing a book on tax law. He's writing a PhD on you fill in the blank. That's worth something. That's doing something for society. Even if it's a minute thing, whatever that PhD is. Not, to undermine what a PhD is. People give it a lot of credit, right, more than they should, for different reasons. Regardless, that person who's getting a stipend, and they're getting money for expenditures and other things, they don't look at that person as doing nothing. They look at that person as, he's kadosh, he's holy. Write a book on tax law. That's important. Write a PhD on the Peruvian Indians from their inception and whatever. That's important. So why do people say this? That when someone sits and learns, that it's not worth anything because they don't see the value. They're not doing anything for society. Well, we certainly believe, the Rambam says, it's like what tribe of Levi did. So you have the status of being part of the tribe of Levi. Not only that, you uphold the world because you always need people to sit and learn. And you'll say, some of it's more practical, some of it's theoretical, this, that, doesn't matter. That's the power of Torah. Person learns Musar, learns Jewish philosophy, learns Halacha, learns Talmud, learns Chumash, Navi, prophets, the writings. What do you want to learn? Right, but most people's focus would probably be either in Talmud or Halacha, or a combination. So a person may think, okay, I'm going to give my hard-earned money to someone who's sitting and learning. It's because you don't understand the benefit. When we turn the Torah to the Ark, Monday, Thursday, Shabbos, what do we say? We say, Eitz Chaim ila machzikim ba. The Torah is the tree of life to those who will fast to it. Le machzikim ba, hifil, causative. Who's being machiku? Who's strengthening who? Is it me strengthening the Torah or the other way around? So the old adage goes, not how much I put into Torah, it's how much Torah goes into me. So when a person helps support Torah, especially people sitting and learning, not to mention teaching, they get a portion of that Torah, as if they learned it themselves. And they'll get upstairs after 120 years. God's going to say, "Do you learn Torah?" I said, "Yeah, I learned a little bit. I was busy working. So I learned what I could." So hopefully that's good enough. But then a person will say, "Look, I help support these Torah scholars, these rabbis, these yeshivas, whatever." Well, guess what? You get the merit for their learning. You get a portion of it. Just like the person learning gets his portion, the person helping support gets the portion also. But you didn't learn it. You didn't learn it. But the idea is, it's as if you did. Your soul's going to all of a sudden start spitting back Gemaras, Tosfos, the Rosh, Halacha, this, that. I never learned this. Where did this come from? And the answer is, it came from the Torah you supported. Right? People make such an agreement. There is such an agreement with rabbinic scholars. They'll say, "I'll pay X amount a month to help you out. And in return, In return, I get the merit of your Torah learning, right? That's the agreement. So everybody wins. Nobody loses here. Right? The person learning is doing what he needs to do. The person supporting does what they need to do. And both gain. Obviously, the more a person's supported, the easier it is for them to learn. Right? Without the burden of having to figure out, how they're going to have to pay for things or whatever. Everything that comes in certainly helps. No question. But as families get bigger, it's harder. No question. So at some point, the person's going to go out to work. True. And it could be even if they're not learning full time, but they get help, and they get a merit when they learn also. So it's what we call a contract between Yisachar and Zvulun. Right? One learns, the other gets the merit for supporting. So why don't more people do it if they have means? Because they don't realize and they don't understand where the source of blessing is. They'll be the first to say, I worked hard for my money. Let him work. What's he doing? Sitting and learning. Should be supporting his wife. So I remember I went knocking on doors many years ago, helping to raise money for the coal that I was in, and some person gave basically the equivalent of $1 or a couple dollars. Said I can understand a girls' school, a cheder, to support, maybe yeshiva support. These people should go out and get jobs. They should work. So my answer was, well, this is exactly what they're being trained to do. They're being trained to be rabbis. That's what they're being trained to do. To go out there and teach. That's why we need help. We need support. So this person just sort of, scoffed. Said, oh, Nebuch, tragic, here. Here's a couple bucks. Slam the door. So what was my reaction? What should it have been? No, it's not like this was a $150 donation. It wasn't like it was a $1,000 donation. So here you get Musar. Right? A person has to realize you're collecting money. People are going to spit in your face. It's part of the job. You got to realize that's going to happen. I was a rookie, certainly, at that time. So what was I didn't get offended that, that's what people told me before I did it. This is what's going to happen. Not all the time, but whatever. So the only thing I was thinking in the back of my mind was, that's what you're saying for $2? You're not even going to give $2 to help support Torah? They're going to say they don't believe in the concept. So why should they give their money towards it? I get it. It's a principle. If you told me you were giving $100, $200, $50 you're giving, that's not nothing. It's still worth something, no question. But you're only going to give $5 anyway, and now you don't even give. You're not even going to give. Right? So, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, you're not even giving $2. It was an eye-opening experience. Because this person did not value what Torah is. Now, you tell me what's $2 going to do? Listen, if you had 1,000 people give you $2, it's $2,000. You can do a lot. Everything adds up. Yeah, you'd like to get more? Fine. But wouldn't you rather take smaller donations on a bigger scale? Sure. And try and get one big fish going to give you a ton of money. And so it doesn't happen all that often. But the person missed the boat. Even if they're giving a little bit of money, that money goes to help support Torah. So if that's what they can afford to give, that Torah is going to help them. They'll get the merit for that. But getting the merit, who knows what it could save them from? We have no idea what goes on and how these things can save our lives. But make no mistake, there are a lot of people that call themselves Orthodox Jews that will be the first to say, yeah, you need yeshivas. Yeah, you need people to sit and learn. Not everybody. There are like tens of thousands of people over the age of 25 sitting and learning today. I mean, the numbers look big. They're not big at all. Right? People will say, you got all these people sitting and learning. So, okay. The biggest yeshiva in the world is what? 5,000 people? Right? Between Panovich and the Mir, maybe you have 10,000. But how many of those are over the age of 25? Let's say it's 5,000. I'll be generous. Maybe it's a little higher. Maybe we'll say it's 10,000. It's a joke. All the rest of the world, people over the age of 25 sitting and learning. Let's say it's 50,000. It's a joke. Not even half that. In all places in the world. How many Jews are in the world? 14 million. If we say it's 50,000, it's 0.01. Not even 1%. So people are sitting and saying, look at all these people sitting and learning. These people should be doing something with their lives. And what's the real answer? The real answer is, what are we going to do to those people to sit and learn? It's only 0.01%, if that. 0.001. I didn't think of it in those terms. But people don't understand. They don't give it value. They give 10 times more value to being a doctor, being a lawyer, being an accountant. Right? The big three. Being whatever job it is that has prestige or just makes money, whatever it is. Sitting and learning? Where's the value? What are you doing for society? Well, we believe we're holding up society. We're keeping society together. But imagine someone who had the power, had the ability to help support, and they give it away to stupid things. God's going to say, why did I give you money for in the first place? A person can have tens of thousands of mitzvahs every minute, every hour learning. Someone who supports someone learning or teaching or whatever, person racks up all those mitzvahs. It's going to take him to the next world. So when you say it in those terms, you have to see if the person flinches. If they backpedal. If they don't backpedal, then they're not Orthodox. They're heretics. Because either you believe Torah has the power to protect and uphold the world, or you don't. And the reality is, probably a lot of people don't. So a person thinks they're upholding someone else. It's just the opposite. There was a story of a father-in-law supporting the son-in-law. In many, many years, however long it was, son-in-law, was agitated a little bit, wanted to really go out and, support himself. The father-in-law, was supporting. And he was willing to support, didn't give any problems. But the son-in-law felt bad. So shortly after the son-in-law decided to stop learning, now again, it wasn't because he wasn't enjoying, he wasn't getting benefit, he wasn't growing, it had nothing to do with that. But he felt bad for his father-in-law. So what happened? Shortly after son-in-law decides he's going to leave learning, his father-in-law dies. Father-in-law had a stroke, heart attack, whatever it was, and he died. So you think all those years, this is one example, but you'll think all those years, the father-in-law is supporting the son-in-law. And he's helping him every month. And he gets the merits. Gets all these merits for what the son-in-law learns. It's as if he learned it himself. And the son-in-law says, my father-in-law supported me all these years. But in the end, when the son-in-law decides, not to take the money, and he's going to look for a job or whatever, the father-in-law dies. Now, what simple explanation of this story is that the fact that the father-in-law is giving the money to the son-in-law, and he was able to do so, the son-in-law's learning protected the father-in-law. Now that the son-in-law is not learning, the father-in-law doesn't have the same protection. Because he doesn't have the same protection, he died. Now, I'm not saying every case is going to be like this. But we have to understand, right? My job, squeegee the brain a little bit. Got to understand who's supporting who. Who's in charge. So the Rebbe here points out, who's getting more? Is it the poor person who's getting the money, which I would have thought is getting more? Or is the person giving the money? So you see from this story, clear, it's the person giving the money. He's getting much more. So when someone asks me, you started a kollel, right? You had 22 guys. In between 3 years, up to 30, whatever, at least all my money was stolen. At the end of the day, someone said, well, do you have any regret? You helped all these people, and now you got nothing to show for it. You don't have the money. I said, well, if I didn't spend the money, it would have been taken anyway. So at least that money, 3.5 years, supporting these people, I get the merit. I get the merit that they're learning. That's never taken away. That'll always stand to my defense, hopefully, if I don't blow it. So people, I had someone tell me, you never should have used the money for that. What should I have used the money for? What should I have built? I should have bought hotels. It wasn't that much money. I should have bought a business. What should I have done? Not a business person. Certainly not by any stretch. So the money went to spiritual investment. It was a good investment. So who knows, what possibly could have happened if I didn't have that merit. Okay, the money got stolen. So the Chosel Vavos says, it's collateral. God can take it when he wants. Person doesn't use it right. Other things can be taken away. But we have no idea what that merit is. And how much it protects. And how much worse things could have been if I didn't do that. Find out later. I don't know if I'll be able to report it, but, find out when I need to find out. But after 120 years, the fact that these guys learned, and they learned strong, it's all my merit. It was the merit of giving the money to charity. Right? To helping them. Supporting them. So I get a merit in the learning. Not just my own learning. Get the merit for their learning also, all of them. It's a huge thing. Someone says, should have done something else with the money. What should I have done? If I would have taken it myself, fine. Still have it, probably. Wouldn't have invested in anything stupid. Would have been very conservative. Lived off the interest. More or less. I don't think give too much away. But this is something I just want to point out. This is someone who's modern Orthodox who said it. Yeah, maybe I should have bought a baseball stadium. Invested in, I don't know, other things. And not invested in Torah. This person said it was a bad investment. Well, when I had to raise money, and nobody knew who I was, and I hadn't been in the States, I lived in a Jewish community, it was a lot harder to do. That's why I basically shut it down. Because I wasn't going to go door to door doing this. It wasn't a ton of money to raise, but it was enough. So, isn't the most important thing in the world Torah? And learning Torah? Yes. I'll answer the question. Yes. It's the most important thing. So if you believe Torah is min hashamayim, if you believe Torah is from heaven, and you believe God runs the world, what we call hashgacha pratit or hashgacha pratis, divine providence, God spoke at Mount Sinai, gave the Torah to Moshe, Moshe passed it down to his kids, Moshe passed it down to the Jewish people, and this person keeps Torah mitzvahs also. So my question would be, as we just asked, person has X amount of money, and he's got a lot of money, where should it be invested in? This person would have said anything but Torah. Invest in business. Invest in stocks. Oh, sure, it's safe there. But why would you want to have a kollel? Have guys sitting and learning? And oversee it, and different headaches you have with it, and whatever. It's a tremendous learning experience in many ways. Learn things the easy way, learn things the hard way. But I saw one thing. There's a contradiction in the Torah when a Levite is supposed to start service. Some say 25, some say 30. So Rashi says, what's the discrepancy? What's the difference between 25 and 30? You give someone 5 years to learn. You give him 5 years, see, he's going to see Siman Bracha. He's going to see blessing. If a person doesn't see blessing after 5 years, he's learning and he's trying and whatever, he doesn't see the blessing, you won't see the blessing. Right? That a person, will see that they're cut out for other things. It's not in Torah. They'll be a businessman, whatever. But they're not cut out for Torah. Not everybody is. To be able to teach, to learn all day, it's not for everybody. So, for 3.5 years, this place was the talk of the town. Mention my name, Ramat Beit Shemesh, everybody knows. I haven't been there in a long time. I walk in there, people know who I am. Still remember. So that, I saw a tremendous blessing. In so many different ways. The only problem was God said no. Even inclination came. God said, all right, taking everything away. It's a big blow. No question. But if I had to do it over again, okay, there's certain things I do a little bit different. Now that I'm older, a little bit wiser, a little bit less hair, a little bit grayer, as it goes. I would do things a little bit different. But would I change where it goes to? No. Why? Because I know what the value of Torah is. I know what the value of learning is. That's the best investment. Even if it's hard, even, you may fill in the blank. It's a lot of effort. People who run yeshivas, kolos, they work hard. A lot of it, is working hard, is bringing in money. But they work hard in other ways also. Giving to the students, helping them, guiding them. I brought the best speakers out. Had my Rebbe there a number of times. Changed the face of the map. I introduced people to one of the Gedolei Ador. Should be well, just saw him today. A nice big smile when I saw him. That you can't take away. That's a whole transformation. And had the ability, it could, what it could have been. I can't even imagine what it might have been 15 years later. Okay, wasn't meant to be. God didn't want it. As the Chovos Levavos says, regardless of what you do, you have to put your best foot forward. And if God blesses it, you have no problem. If He doesn't bless it, doesn't matter what you do. But see, what's a little bit hard is if a person's tasted success in anything, and then you get shot down. It's hard. It's humbling. There's no question. But take that away. Take that learning experience away, what it was, and what it could have been. I put everything into it. No regrets. So think about when you're in synagogue, and you're there on Shabbos, and you're able to hear a Tzchayim ila machzikim ba. Think of this message. It's not you supporting, it's the other way around. But you're getting the benefit of both. Because when you give, you're going to receive. And you have no idea what that protection's going to be that you're going to need in the future for the sake of supporting Torah. So I want to wish everyone a great Shabbos.